out the way. Not going to affect it.
This is Michael Gerace with Clearview Sewer Cams. We're located at 20417 Hamlin Street, Winnetka, California, 91306. And we're performing a video waistline and sewer line inspection through the 3-inch roof vent above the bathroom area. I believe it's a hall bathroom. It's adjacent to the kitchen. And this is the front of the property and this air conditioning condenser on the roof. And we're going to set our camera right at the opening of the vent. And we're going to zero out our camera monitor so we get a good accurate reading. And we're going to insert our camera and begin running through the roof vent and attempt to get out to the city sewer. Roof vent is transite, part of it, and then it transitions to cast iron. Now we're in the cast iron waistline and running out toward the front of the property. Cast iron waistline has a little bit of buildup in it and scaling, but not terrible. Not at this point. Getting a little bit more scaling in the cast iron, but still not a lot. Right here it's kind of got a lot of buildup in it and could cause an issue. It may need to be hydrojetted from the roof. Running out, making a turn. We're transitioning now what appears to be vitreous clay, and we're going to run out slowly to the next joint. We've got about 2 feet to the next joint. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Okay, we're coming up to the next joint. We're going to back up just a little bit and take a look at the joint. Back up a little more. And that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. So we're going to continue to run out. The joints are approximately 3 feet apart. And that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition as well. And this is vitreous clay. Going to continue to push out. And that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition as well. We're going to continue to push out. And that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. We're going to continue to push out. Going out toward the front of the house, heading toward the city sewer. And that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition as well. We have a joint coming up in about a foot. Next joint, we're going to make a little bit of a turn. Got a little tiny bit of an offset in this joint. Going to pull back just a tiny bit and take a look. We do have a little bit of an offset in this one joint, but we don't see any major breaks, and it's not terrible. We don't believe it'll cause a problem. Okay, and the next joint appeared to be in fair and maintainable condition. Heading out toward the next joint. And we do have a crack in that joint. Going to pull back just a tiny bit. Going to pull back just a tiny bit. We're going to pause right there. We can see there's a crack all the way around the pipe. And we're at 68 feet 8 inches. We're going to go ahead and we're going to run all the way out. And then when we pull back, we'll locate this area and mark this area. We'll see what the rest of it looks like. We're going to continue in. We're going to pause right there. Appears we have a good sized break in the piping right before this joint as well. This is at 73 feet. We got a large crack, and it's a large chunk of piping. If we get substantial earth movement, we get an earthquake, that whole chunk of pipe could end up popping apart, and there would be no stability to the sewer at that point. This is at 73 feet. We'll mark that area as well. So we're going to continue running out. Going to pause for a moment. We're going to back up just a little tiny bit. We're going to pause right there. We got another crack at the top of the piping, starting at about the 9 o'clock area. Pull back a little bit. And it runs around, it appears to be at about the 2 o'clock area. So we have some substantial cracks in the sewer line. And that one's at 78 feet. So we're going to continue to push in now. Some of these sections of piping are about 4 to 5 foot lengths. I'm going to continue to push out. We're going to go slow. We're coming up on the next joint. We're going to pause for a moment. Appears that we have another crack here from about the 9 o'clock area to about the 12 o'clock area. And we're just going to locate a couple of these. We're not going to locate every single one of them. We know that there's several cracks. And another large crack in the piping at this joint at 86 feet on the camera monitor. We're going to continue to run out. Have a lot of cracks in the vitreous clay. Large cracks. And we have another crack here. Appears to run around from about the 7 o'clock area to about the 1 o'clock area. We're going to continue running in now. We're going to pause right here for a moment. We got another crack. It appears from about the 1 o'clock area to about the 10 o'clock area. We'll blow this up and look at it real good on our laptop back at the office as well. Go in just a little bit. And that section of piping appears to have a little bit of an offset, but not terrible. We're going to continue running in. I'm going to slow down a little bit here. Right here we've got large cracking in the piping from about the 6 o'clock area all the way around to about the 2 o'clock area. Slow down right here. We're going to pull back just a little tiny bit. We've got a major offset right here. You can see the entire face of the pipe on the right hand side, but you can't see any of the face of the pipe on the left hand side. That's a major offset. We're going to go in very slowly. Looks like we've got a little turn. We're going through the turn now. We've got another joint. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition from what we can see. And now we've got another joint. And that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Another turn. And now we're coming up to another joint. And we got a pretty large separation and an offset here. I believe this is possibly right before the saddle, or this is the saddle area, adjacent to the city sewer. We're going to try and push in slow, try and see if we can see. And now we got more piping. We got another crack at the bottom of this pipe from about the 5 o'clock area to the 7 o'clock area. Going to continue to push in. We're not quite to the city sewer yet. Made quite a few turns. Now we're running out again. Running toward another section of piping. Next joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Coming up on another joint. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Coming up to another joint, and that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition as well. Going to continue in. Coming up to another joint, that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. And we're coming up to another joint, and that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition from what we can see. We have a little debris, a little bit of paper in the way, but everything that we could see, that joint appeared to be in fair and maintainable condition. And now it appears that we're increasing in size. I believe we're transitioning right here to our 6-inch, looks like 4-inch to 6-inch city lateral transition. We're going to continue to push out. That joint appeared to be in fair and maintainable condition. That joint appeared to be in fair and maintainable condition as well. Probably got about 20 feet or so to the city sewer. Got a little debris on the bottom of the pipe. And we have some paper and such. We may end up having to, probably going to have to run some water to flush this out. So we're going to pause for a moment. Okay, we're going to continue to run in now. We've got water running to help us push out. And hopefully we'll be in the city sewer in about 15 feet or so. Then we can shut down our water. And it looks like we're making a turn. We're going to be coming up on a turn, little offset at the saddle. And we might have to jump that a little bit. We're right at an offset. Might have to pull back a little bit and try and jump over it. And now we're in the city sewer. Got to pull back just a little tiny bit. We're in the city sewer. I'll pull back just a tiny bit to the edge of the saddle. Right there. And we're going to pause for another moment, shut our water off, then we'll view everything on the way back. Okay, we located this area, and it is close to the opposite curb across the street. We marked it with an orange dot of paint. It's at 5 foot 11 inches deep, and it's almost straight out from the gate as you're entering the property through the gate. You walk straight across the street and you can see the orange dot close to the curb. And we're going to pull back very slowly now so we can take a look at this. And pause right there for a moment. Okay, now we're going to pull back very slowly. Looks like we've got a crack in the saddle going all the way around. Then we've got a very large offset. Got a very large offset right next to where we have the orange dot within about 8 to 9 inches. You can see the entire face of the piping. So we're going to continue to pull back now. That's a pretty significant offset right there. We're going to continue to pull back. We should have a little bit of a turn right here. And that joint, we're going to pause for a moment. Okay, we have a significant offset right here at the fiddle, right at the fitting right before the saddle area. And this area more than likely will need to be excavated and repaired. And we also have a crack in the saddle. We're going to pull back very slowly now and take a look at the rest of the piping and the fittings. We've got some debris holding right here. It's been backing up. Probably been backing up because of the offset. You've got a considerable amount of debris in the piping right here. So it's not getting through, it's not draining properly. You can't really even see the condition of the piping below all this. We can see at the top a little bit, but we can't see below. We're going to continue to pull out. Again, we've got a considerable amount of debris. I'm going to pause for a moment. Apparently had somebody run some water. I think this is standing water. So we're going to pull back a little bit more. We're going to come back a little bit further. Now we can see. But as I said, you have a lot of standing water in that area. You have debris, a lot of debris. We're going to continue to pull out now. We've already looked at those joints. We've got the crack at the saddle. And we've also got a very large offset right at the city sewer tie-in connection. We're going to continue pulling back. And that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition at this time. We're going to continue to pull back. And that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition as well. I'm going to continue to pull back. That joint's got a minor offset at the top where you can see the face of the pipe toward the top, but not at the bottom. But that's not terrible, and we don't believe that will cause an issue. It's actually dropping down into it a little bit, so it does less damage as if it shifted the other direction. There's another joint, appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Continue to come back. So far the piping appears to be in fair and maintainable condition as well. Another joint, that joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. Going to continue to pull back. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. We're going to continue to pull back. Another joint right there appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition, and we are pulling back toward our 4-inch to 6-inch city lateral transition, which we will locate and mark out. We're going to continue to pull back. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. We do have a crack at the bottom. We're going to go in just a little tiny bit. We're going to push in maybe a couple inches if we can, get a better look at it. Go back in a little bit. Right there, Steve. There appears to be a crack right along the bottom of the pipe. Excuse me, going from about the 5 o'clock area to about the 7 o'clock area. We'll blow that up and we'll look at that on our laptop as well. We're going to pause and we're going to locate this area real quick. Okay, we located this area and marked this area with an orange flag. On the right-hand side of the driveway as you're entering the driveway from the street, and it's right next to the small retaining wall. We're going to continue to pull out, and that is a crack in the vitreous clay right there, and I believe we're going to transition. We have an offset there too. We're making a little bit of a turn. We're going to continue to pull back. We have a large offset right here, and what looks like maybe a break on that right hand side. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to locate this area as well. So we're going to pause for another moment. Okay, we've located and marked this area as well, and it is on the right hand side of the driveway next to the retaining wall. We marked it with an orange flag at 4 foot 9 inches deep, and that is an extreme offset right there, and possibly a break on that right side. We can't tell for sure. When we blow it up on the laptop at the office, we may be able to tell a little bit better. We're going to continue to pull back, and I believe we're right next to the 4 to 6 inch transition. We're going to continue to pull back. And we're going to pause right there. We have a large break in the joint. We're going to push out about 2 to 3 inches. Right there. And we're going to pause there, and we're going to locate and mark this area. Okay, we located this area as well next to the small retaining wall on the right hand side of the driveway, and we marked this with an orange flag at 4 foot 7 inches deep. And we're going to continue to pull back. I know we had several broken and cracked joints and piping. Should be coming up to another joint. I'm going to pause there for a minute. That joint, we're going to go out just a little bit. We're going to go out just a couple inches. Pause. That joint's got a little bit of an offset, but not terrible at this point. We're going to continue to pull back. That joint appears to be in fair and maintainable condition. That joint appears to have a crack on the inside face of the piping, but it doesn't look terrible at this time. It's got a crack in the face of the piping, but not broken. Shouldn't hurt the stability of the piping right there. Okay, we got a crack down at the bottom. We got a crack, looks like almost all the way around on this joint. We're going to go out just about 2 inches. Right there. And we're going to locate this area and mark this area. That's a substantial crack all the way around, which does cause issues with stability. Okay, we located this area right next to the wooden walk-in gate. It's on the street side of the possibly 6 foot retaining wall. We marked it with an orange flag at 4 feet deep. Excuse me, 4 feet deep. I'm going to continue to pull back now. I know we had a lot more cracks coming back. And we have another large crack in this section of piping from about the 4 o'clock area. From about the 4 o'clock area toward the 12 o'clock area. Or it goes all the way around, looks like to the 9 o'clock area. We're going to bypass marking this one, and we're going to pull back to the next joint, because we have so many joints that are cracked and broken. That is a break. When we have a large crack like that, that is a break in the pipe. And We're going to pull back just a little tiny bit here. And we've also got another large crack from about the 2 o'clock area around to the 9 o'clock area. We're going to mark this one real quick, so we're going to pause one more time. Okay, we located this area at 3 foot 8 inches deep. It is on the left-hand side of the small walkway that's leading from the gate up to the front door of the house. It's on the right-hand side. As you're walking in from the gate, it'll be on your right-hand side walking toward the front door of the house, 3 foot 8 inches deep. And we're going to continue to pull back now. We mark that with an orange flag. We have numerous cracks and breaks in the vitreous clay. That joint's got a little bit of cracking in the face of the piping, but again, not terrible. I'm going to continue to come back. We're going to pause right there. We're going to go out just about an inch or two. This is where we have that large break. We're going to pause right there. We have a large break that goes all the way around the pipe. The good majority of the bottom of the pipe is pretty well broken out. We're going to pull back maybe about an inch. Try and see if we can get a better shot at it too. Back a little bit more, right there. Okay, we're going to pause there for a moment. You guys want to see this on the monitor or something? I have a lot of cracks, a lot of breaks in this line, but this one, the whole bottom section is pretty much breaking this glass. It's cracked all over. But yeah, we have numerous cracks and breaks on the property. We have a big crack in the street right at the saddle. The majority of the lateral in the street looks okay. It's just right at the saddle. Okay. We got a large crack, and then we got a major offset right there. Let me pause this for a moment.